Hey, how's it going everyone? Craig here from Soundiron, and in today's walkthrough we're going to be checking out our newest library, the Trinity Electric Pipe Organ, a Rogers electroacoustic pipe organ built by the T.S. Good Church Organ Company for the Trinity Lutherans A-Frame Chapel in Clinton, Ohio. The room where we recorded this instrument has a natural warmth and clarity, so you can really dial in anything from that authentic pipe organ depth to a more fuller, modern cinematic tone. So let's go ahead and dive in and start checking out some of the sounds and features within this library. And I also want to mention this library is built for the full version of Kontakt 6.6 or later, as well as the free Decent Sampler and SFZ formats. Alright, so now we have the Trinity Electric Pipe Organ loaded up, and with this you have 3 different microphone positions. We recorded it close stereo, so you have the Neumann TLM103s giving you that nice stereo image, and then mic 2 is going to be stereo mics pushed further back, so you really get that sound of the room. And then mic 3 is going to be a dynamic mono mic right on the instrument. We put it right up on there to really get the power of this instrument. So I want to play for you some musical examples using some of the different sustains and the different stops and basically all of these different sounds with some different musical examples so you can get an idea of how this sounds. So let's go ahead and check those out now. So for this instrument, we also recorded 3 types of effects. So let's check these out. These are the bell plucks. And then we have some chimes. Let's check out some more. And these are really nice for layering up, especially if you're using the pipe organ for creating some really beautiful organ passages and you want to use some of these sounds just to really embellish the musical aspects of that. These are great for that. And these different keys outside, these blue keys outside of this teal key, this is the recorded sample. But then you can also play it a little bit pitched, so if you want to play a little bit lower or a little bit higher. Sounds completely different, but you got to remember that when you're playing it lower or higher, it's going to be stretching that sample. So if you want to get the real recorded sound of this, just play this middle C right here. So for the user interface, you also have some different sound shaping controls per mic, as well as the Ambiences. You also have some options up here for LFO, filter, and arpeggiation. This is per layer or per microphone position. You also have a random button right here, which allows you to randomize different parameters. Maybe you just want to just experiment and just see what randomly pops up, get inspired. You can do that. You also have this space tab right here, which allows you to pan the different microphone positions. So you can leave it where it is, or you can pan it. If you want to get, a little crazy with it, you can pan it however you want. So you have a lot of really cool options. And then also down here, you have the effects rack, which you can load up some different effects. So if you click any of these racks, you'll see the available effects that you have at your disposal. So you have a lot of options to really take this instrument into different territories. So let's head back over here and then let's go ahead and check out some of the ambiences now. And for these ambiences, we used various sound design tricks to morph these sounds into different tonal and dissonant pads and ambient dreamscapes. They're great on their own, but they're also really cool if you want to blend them with the natural recordings of this instrument. So definitely experiment with getting some unique blends of these. So let's go ahead and play a few more of these ambiences. So a couple other features that I want to mention is this link button right here. And what this allows you to do is link all 3 of the microphone positions. So whenever you make a change, so if you're over here and you're like, oh, okay, I want to make it to where it's all using the 2D samples, you can do that. So then if you look at all of the different mics, you'll see it's all the same. So if you really want that kind of, it's all the same. So another thing is you have this X fade right here, and this allows you to blend between various layers. So you can maybe layer in some of the ambience. So if you want to come over here, turn this on, and then maybe blend in some ambiences, you can do that. And that's really cool. Just be able to layer that in if you want to do that. And then you can learn this to any MIDI slider or your mod wheel if you want to be able to fade in real time. And then another really cool feature that I want to talk about is this octave slider right here. And what this allows you to do is blend in an octave above and below, so you can really get a huge, massive sound out of this. So this is it by itself. I'm just going to play just a basic C major chord. And with the 2D patch, this is my favorite. It just has this big, full sound to it. But then when you start to increase this octave slider, it gets even bigger. So let's check this out. Really cool, and just being able to take this instrument and make it larger than life. All right, so before we wrap up this walkthrough, I want to play for you some of the custom effects presets that we created for this library. There's 20 to choose from, all ranging in various tones and styles and genres, just to give you some inspiring stuff to work with. And you can modify these, you can create your own, and sky's the limit. So let's go ahead and check out some of these. All right, so that about wraps up this walkthrough for the Trinity Electric Pipe Organ. If you want to learn more about this instrument, check out some demos to hear it in action, or get it on intro sale right now, make sure to head over to soundiron.com or click the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not already, and we will see you in the next video. See ya.